There's so many people out there that are afraid of what might happen to them. And for me, it's not a fear for me because of what I've gone through before with, well, passing away for about 20 minutes and seeing things that most people don't get to see. But what I started thinking about after talking to you on the trail that day was how people shouldn't be fearful of death. What it did for me when I was 28 years old was to kind of wake me up and find out where my values are and where I'm sitting with my family and where I am placed with my Father in heaven. All of a sudden in my mind, I started watching a video of my life, and I saw it from the day that I was born until I was 28 years old. Everything that I'd done in my life, good, bad, it didn't matter, because what mattered was that's what I was being judged on, was what I had done. And I remember some of it hurt, but some of it made me feel good. But it was what it was. I had no one there to argue with, no one to say, I didn't do that. No, I did it. But there was a lot of things at that time in my life that I wasn't really as on track on my life as I should have been. It was, at that time in my life, I was working for the government, for the Postal Service at the time, and it was all about getting ahead, making enough money. And I remember at the time I was working in Jackpot, Nevada, which is way out in the middle of nowhere. And knowing that everything that I was doing was for myself and not for my family. And I think probably out of all of that I watched, it was, some was good, some was bad, but I knew that I had to do better with my life. I remember all of a sudden just being so peaceful. After it was all over, it was real. Nothing, there's no fake stuff. There was no, you didn't do this or I didn't do that. I did it. It was all about me. And what was so vivid was it was in my mind. I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't negotiating. It was all in my mind that I was visualizing. And when I got through, I went, it's over, I knew that I was dead, and I knew I was moving on. I was instructed through my mind, and that person wasn't next to me, but in my mind, to get up and start working forward. And I walked up to this white cloud, and an arm came through, only about this much. And it just came through, and I'll never forget it. It was an arm that was strong. It was somebody that had worked either in the farming industry, where his arms were big and his hands, I remember, were strong. They were bigger than my hands. They were a lot more meaty. And he reached out like this, and I reached towards his hand, and he said, "It is not yet your time. You have more things yet to do." And he pulled his arm back through, and I didn't see it again because of the cloud that was in front of me. And at that time, I went back into my body.